development goals there are 17 sustainable development goals in which poverty is also one of the eradicating poverty is one of the prime point. So அது இல்லாம நீங்க சுத்தி மிச்சதெல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா it will be improving the livelihood. நம்மள சுத்தி இருக்கிற விஷயங்களை நம்மளே சின்ன சின்ன விஷயங்களை மாத்திக்க நீங்க ஒரு குப்பையை குப்பைத்தொட்டியில போட்டு கூட you can still call yourself as a sustainable person. You know, நல்லா இருக்குல்ல. ஆனா யார் என்ன பெருமை பண்ணாலும் உடனே போய் இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணக்கூடாது, இதெல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் பெருசா பண்ணிட்டு இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணலாம், சரியா? So let us talk about sustainability in life first of all before we could move on to the concept of sustainability. The complete presentation I am having the theme as butterfly. Okay, I am holding. It's my practice to hold every single presentation with a theme. அது நல்லா இருக்கும். நான் நிறைய கதை சொல்றேன் உங்களுக்கு, வேணாம் ப்ராபபிலி நீங்க தூங்குற மாதிரி இருந்தா அது வீடியோ கதை. And sorry for the late question. Everybody can understand Tamil, right? No va? Yes ma'am. No யாரு? ஐயோ சரி, ஓகே பொறுத்துருவோம் மூணு பேத்துக்காக. We will talk in English. So sustainable startups அப்படின்னு வரும்போது why I wanted to add butterfly because the world is so good as long as you have the number of butterflies in place. How many of you know that? Now we used to think like, you know, butterfly is a small creature. It's like very colorful. It's flying here and there, and everybody would like to compare butterfly with women, and they feel like you have to spread your wings, fly and all. Avla onnu illa, butterfly paaka alaga irukum. Adu paakumbodhu oru happiness irukum. Avladha simple aachiko life e avla kashtam varthinde periya feminism we don't have to talk, but we can keep it simple and understand, you know, butterfly is beautiful and the value addition that the butterfly does is tremendous. Sometime back in US, few scientists came together to create a model world. Okay, model world of equality and balance in the environment. Okay, they started building it artificially. இது வந்து nature கொடுத்த gift நமக்கு the world அப்படிங்கிறது இந்த environment அப்படிங்கிறது, but they did was an artificial world creation attempt that they want to do with every component, like how many areas of vacant land should be there. They took few acres of land and they built and then they actually wanted to do a model world. Okay, and the model world வந்து they want to see how life sustains. ஒரு சின்ன பூச்சியில இருந்து மனுஷங்க வரைக்கும் how people are able to sustain in that model world was the major concern of the scientists. They all started building it. When they started building, they were counting every single thing. How many flowers should be there? How many honeybees should be there? How many like நார்மலான அந்த flies எல்லாம் இருக்குல்ல, அந்த flies கூட அவங்க வந்து கனெக்ட் பண்ணாங்க. சரி எவ்வளவு இருக்கலாம், இருக்கணுமா இருக்க வேண்டாமா அதெல்லாம் பார்த்தாங்க. They forgot about the contribution of a butterfly and they completely removed butterfly out of the system and the world could not sustain for more than 2 weeks. சூப்பர்ல ஒரு பட்டர்ஃப்ளை கார்ல போகும்போது என்ஹெச்ல அடிச்சு போட்டு போயிடுவோம் பட்டர்ஃப்ளை பாதி நேரம் இல்ல, but that is adding so many value to the ecosystem that the world is not able to sustain without a butterfly. So butterfly is as important as any other creature in this world and so as the startups also. அதுதான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கதை. We'll move on to the presentation now. The topic given was sustainable startups and telling about sustainability. நான் அந்த butterfly கதை சொன்னதே வந்து to connect it with the startups that has to really give it back to the economy environment that we are living in. நிறைய ஸ்டார்ட்அப்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா வேஸ்ட் மேனேஜ்மென்ட் ஸ்டார்ட்அப்ஸ் தான் பண்றாங்க, right? So all of you would have got one or the other ideas on the sustainable goals, right? நீங்க அந்த கோல்ஸ்ல தானே பண்ணிருக்கீங்க ஸ்டார்ட்அப், அப்படிதான் என்ன சொன்னாங்க, கரெக்ட்டா தான்? Yeah, you all came up with a startup idea that is falling under the SDG, right? Right? So what made you to think on that? Let us reiterate back. What made you to think on that? Anyone? Somebody would like to share their experience in telling why they chose that idea? கொடுத்தாங்க எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம் அதானே, கரெக்டா? It is not like that. If you think back, the purpose of your startup, it should actually result in somebody's well-being. It can be environment's well-being, it can be next generation's well-being, it can be your own fellow friends' well-being or your own well-being at least அதுக்காவது பண்ணுவோம். Yeah, we wash ourselves, we take bath. Yes, it's for well-being of two kinds of people. One is you, the other one is people around you. கரெக்ட்டா? உங்களுக்கு நல்லது, சுத்தி இருக்கவங்க நல்லது. அதே மாதிரி சில விஷயங்களை முன்ன வச்சு சிம்பிளான கோல்ஸோட if you are moving ahead also, it is sustainable startup only. But sometimes we have to think to make a startup sustainable. We have sustainable goals for our startup, but also a startup should also sustain, இல்லையா? How will a startup sustain? யாராவது நினைச்சு பாத்தீங்களா? இன்னைக்கு இந்த ஐடியா எடுத்துட்டோம். We have come for a hackathon. We have come for the boot camp. What makes the competition? Winning, losing, அவ்வளவுதானா? Then there is no sustainable plan. Sustainability is nothing but thinking or going on a futuristic way. You try to move on a futuristic way that could help you and others to flourish in a better way. அவ்வளவுதான். சரிங்களா? Let us keep it simple. I like this concept of keeping it simple. Yes. Next please. So value proposition அப்படினு வரும்போது நமக்கு நேச்சரா ஸ்டார்ட் அப்னு சொன்னாலே ஒரு வேல்யூ இருக்கணும். ஏன் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் அப் சொன்னாங்க? வந்து ஓலா வந்தாங்க. You have come across Swiggy. What is the value that they provide for the money that you give? What is the value that they provide as for the money that you give? You pay some delivery fee or something, like you order food and pay something as a delivery fee or something. What do you get? What is the value? Service. I would say that it is convenience. காலனி போட்டு சோமால உட்கார்ந்துட்டு you are ordering an app. அது வீட்டுக்கு வருது, பெல் அடிக்குறாங்க, பெல் அடிக்காத அப்படினாலும் பெல் அடிக்க வேண்டாம். You don't want someone to ring the bell, you can switch it off. Because பாப்பா தூங்குது, don't push the bell or no, switch on the bell. அதுவும் இருக்குதானே? So it is convenience. Every single aspect of convenience is being captured. Sometimes you will be very hardly working on a meeting and you don't feel like cooking. Your mom doesn't want to cook. She can simply say like, "Anna, Swiggy panikoma. Order 2 rotis, no? Order 2 for me also, no?" Yeah. So she go that way, and that is a kind of convenience that is being provided. The value or the money that you pay is only for the convenience value. So every single thing that you get is captured under the term called value. Okay? 1 ரூபாய் கொடுத்தாலும் we always look at the value. You go on the road, somebody is asking 5 rupees. Charity கேக்குறாங்க, ஒரு 5 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறீங்க, இல்ல 10 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறீங்க, or 50 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறீங்க. How many of you will have at the back of your mind, இது ஏன் நான் கொடுக்கணும்னு எப்பயாவது யோசிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? How many of you have thought, like, before giving charity of 5 rupees or 10 rupees or 20 rupees or 50 rupees, have you ever thought, why am I giving? முதல்ல கொடுத்திருக்கீங்களா? I think I should start from that question. Have you ever given that? Yeah, right. Then tell me, have you ever thought of it? ஏன் கொடுக்கணும்னு யோசிச்சிருக்கீங்களா? Charity-க்கு we will not think. Because அது யோசிச்சாலும் தப்பு. அந்த இடத்துல அவங்கள பார்த்த உடனே they emotionally come down and pay, and that is only happening on a charity point. But business is not charity. Business is a different ball game. எல்லாரும் பண்ற மாதிரி நானும் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஒன்னு பண்ணுவோம், பாப்போம் 50000 பிரைஸ் பண்ணி வந்தா பண்ணுவோம், 10000 வந்தா பண்ணுவோம், இல்லனா விட்டுருவோம். கிடையாது. ஸ்டார்ட் அப்க்கு you need a vision, purpose, value. Okay? So let us look at the map of the value. First important value map ஒன்னு இருக்கு, customer profile ஒன்னு இருக்கு. நீங்க அந்த picture பாத்தீங்கன்னா you will be able to understand. கவலைப்படாதீங்க, 9 ஸ்லைடு தான், கடகடா முடிச்சிடலாம். கதை மட்டும் தான் சொல்லுவேன், மிச்சதெல்லாம் ஸ்லைட பாத்தீங்கன்னா புரிஞ்சிரும். சரிங்களா? ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட தேவையில்ல. So let us look at one side you have value map, the other side you have customer profile. Why do you want to connect these two? ஏன் பாத்து ரெண்டு மட்டும் கனெக்ட் பண்றோம்? வேல்யூ மேப்பையும் கஸ்டமர் ப்ரொஃபைலையும். Let us understand the logic. எப்பவுமே ஃபார்முலா படிச்சா லாஜிக் படிக்கணும். இல்லாட்டி ஃபார்முலா மறந்துரும். இல்லாட்டி பரிச்சையப்போ you have to mug it up. Understand the logic for a formula. Tell me why we have value map on the left. What is? I'm sorry, I'm amphi. I'm not even left and right. And on the side value map இருக்கு, இந்த சைடுல you have customer profile. Why is it so? Why we are connecting these two? Because every customer is not same. So we create a customer profile for our product. Okay, நம்ம வந்து கரெக்ட்டா தெரிஞ்சிக்க வேண்டிய விஷயங்கள் என்னன்னு கேட்டினா, you have to understand who will be your potential customers first. இப்போ ஒரு Swiggy இருக்காங்கன்னா, Swiggy will know very well Somberi is the biggest customer they always have. Correct? பாவமா யோசிக்காதீங்க. சோம்பேறிங்க தான் first customer உங்களுக்கு. Then பாத்தீங்கன்னா people those who are migrated from their own house giving on வேற ஒரு locality வந்திருக்காங்க, they don't know how to cook and all, those people are the second kind of customers they will have. So profile the customers, break down the customer segment, profile them and put them together. These are your customers. இப்படி இருக்கிற customer groupக்கு how am I going to give value? Convenience would be value for one customer. Okay, tasty food at an affordable rate would be a value for another customer. Top-notch restaurant food is done, delivered at my home is a value for another customer. Not travel பண்ணல வண்டி ஓட்டல trafficல, I'm not stuck in traffic, I'm not toiling myself in the sun, but still I get my favorite restaurant food at home. That's another value, right? So put the values appropriately and map it to the customer profile. That's very, very important. You know, for the 100 or 200 that you pay, the value expectation will be different from one another. நான் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ற வேல்யூ நீங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ண மாட்டீங்க. ஒரு முடிவெற்ற கடைக்கு போகும்போது இத்தனை கேள்வி கேட்கறாங்க பார்பர் ரூம்ல இல்ல சலூன் ஸ்டைலிஸ்ட், how many questions you being asked, right? When you go to a hair styling, it's not one style that everyone is going ahead, right? Everybody will have their own style. So this is the kind of mapping that we have to do. And the barber or the stylist never feel bad about asking what you want. That's the foremost criteria for a startup to start with. முதல்ல கஸ்டமருக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு கண்டுபிடிங்க, அப்புறம் அதை செய்யுங்க. Sometimes you create something and you give it to your customer. சாப்பிட்டே அவங்க சாப்பிடு. No, that will not work. சரிங்களா? So the first point is all about that. Create a value. Pull out all your customers, potential customers. Try to map them. How? How to map? எப்படி map பண்றது? Use USP. What is USP? Unique selling proposition. Yes. So unique selling proposition will be the only competitive advantage that you will have when you are comparing yourself with your competitors. Zomato to Swiggy ku enna difference? Can anyone tell what is the difference between Zomato and Swiggy? Both are doing the same kind of service, right? Somebody would have a preference to over Zomato, somebody would have preference over Swiggy. Why is it so? Why is it happening so? Offers. Very good. So who frequently gives offers, who gives valuable membership, right? Swiggy one is there in Swiggy. Zomato will cover because I am an ardent Swiggy fan. Sorry. Zomato fan idea. I Insta marketing ellame I use only in Swiggy. So definitely. I feel more valued. I feel more. I get offers to my home with my orders. Now orders போடுறது பாத்தீங்கன்னா கொத்தமல்லி கருவேப்பிலை தான் போட்டுப்பேன். But I get biscuits and all those things. And telling like we are celebrating 100th order of yours, you know. We are celebrating 50th order of yours, no? So that makes me feel good. Okay, fine. நம்ம ஆர்டர் பண்றது கேட்டு நமக்கே இதை கொடுக்கலாம். So that joy should be there. So I am an ardent fan. So my value, or for me the USP is all about I get extra mileage value for the money that I pay. அது எனக்கு USP. See, Swiggy is very intelligent in positioning themselves as far as USPs are concerned. They provide different USPs for different sets of customers, and that is also an attraction point. So this is the value proposition map that you have to learn. You have value sets at one end, you have customer profile at the other end. You try to connect each profile of the customer with one value through your proper USP in place. So that is biggest task, but then you can try to do it only when you understand your product, your customers, and the value proposition very clearly. Yes? அடுத்த ஸ்லைடு போட்டுமா? தூங்காதீங்களா அடுத்த ஸ்லைடு போட்டுமா? So next comes the strategy map. இதெல்லாம் பெரிய வார்த்தைங்க. At this stage I don't know how much I'll be able to deliver it, but yeah, I'll try my level best to put out just this, okay? We all know that butterfly picks honey. Honey pick பண்ணும்போது what is it actually trying to do அப்படினா அது flip பண்ணும், அப்புறம் வந்து ஒரு ஸ்டேட்ல நிக்கும். அது நிக்கிறது it will be like one standstill position also it will hold. Sometimes it will be like opening its wings, it will be like doing all kind of crazy activities. So somebody யாராவது அத ரொம்ப வாட்ச் பண்ணி பாப்பீங்கன்னா பாருங்க, ஒரு flowerல வந்து if it is taking honey, it will not stand still doing it. It will do lot of voluntary motions to attract people. நீங்க பாக்கும்போது சில நேரங்கள்ல உங்களுக்கும் அட்ராக்டிவா இருக்கும், ஒரு ஃபீமேல் கவுண்டர் பார்ட் அதுக்கே ஒரு ஃபீமேல் கவுண்டர் பார்ட் இருந்தா அதுக்கும் அட்ராக்டிவா இருக்கும். So it is multitasking, you know. That's beautiful about having butterflies in place. It is multitasking and it calls people attention very easily. உங்க strategy வந்து அப்படி இருக்கும். Okay? So strategy mapல you have 4 levels of strategy map. First thing is all about I would say actually இது வந்து கீழ இருந்து மேல போயிருக்கு. Don't get conceived about this is the order bottom up னு எடுத்துக்காதீங்க. All these are 4 levels. You can place these 4 levels in the interchange manner also. That doesn't make big difference. In my opinion, every 4 levels are important. That does not mean that this is the first level, this is the second level. Okay? So all the same. Let us go from the financial point of view. Kaasu pradhanappa. Seriyala panalla onnume illa. So we take money, but how are we trying to you take money from outside, investment எடுக்கறோம், loans எடுப்போம், நீங்களே காசு போடுவீங்க. Ultimately for what? You create a product. அதுல நீங்க என்ன கிரியேட் பண்றீங்க? வேல்யூ கிரியேட் பண்றீங்க. அந்த வேல்யூ அகைன் யாருக்கு போகணும்? கஸ்டமருக்கு மட்டும் கிடையாது. உங்களோட ஷேர் ஹோல்டர்ஸ்க்கும் போகணும். So our aim is to think big. It's not just simply on our days like நான் 10 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பணம் போட்டேன், நான் தான் இன்னைக்கு காசு போட்டுருக்கேன், எனக்கு மட்டும் வேல்யூ வந்தா போறோம். No. Though you have put money, there are people who are trusting you and getting your product and using it on daily basis. I don't know whatever basis. So they also should be getting value. So maximizing the shareholder value should be the center point for someone to start with. So you should have that as a vision. உங்களோட underlying visionல கண்டிப்பா இது இருக்கணும். இதெல்லாம் மாத்தவே முடியாது. நீங்க வேற எதை வேணா விஷனா வச்சுக்கலாம். நான் வந்து உலகத்தை திருப்பி போட போறேன் என்னோட டெக்னாலஜியால வாட்சியை வச்சுக்க. No problem. But shareholder என்ன கிடைக்குது? You look at the last level of people who are investing money on single share basis la money போடுறவங்க யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. All big corporations, giant companies have grown only considering their shareholders in place. Nobody has grown without considering shareholders and stakeholders. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் நிறைய டிஃபரன்ஸ் இருக்கு. Shareholders are people those who have shared your capital burden, and stakeholders are people who are around you when you do business. The stakeholders can be customers, can be your government, can be your state government, central government, can be your competitors, can be financial structures like banks or so. எதுவா வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம். Okay? So, but shareholders பாத்தீங்கன்னா பணம் போடுற ஒரு கடைநிலை person. The last level of the Indian economy, people who would like to invest money in your company. Okay? You have to create value for them, and that should be your ultimate motto, regardless of your vision. நீங்க என்ன விஷனா வச்சுக்கோங்க. நான் global leader ஆகணும் கூட வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஆனா அங்க வேல்யூ போடணும் ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல. Okay? Strategy should always look at longer perspective of maximizing shareholders value. The second one, customers. Usually there are 2 levels. Like marketing, நான் MBA படிச்சேன். So my marketing professor took class about this customer satisfaction and delight, customer delight. அது வந்து நான் மறக்கவே முடியாது அந்த கிளாஸ். ஏன்னா சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன்னா என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டபோது when நான் வந்து 2 ரூபாய் ஒரு 10 ரூபாய் கொடுக்குறேன், அதுக்கு ஒரு 2 பரோட்டா தராங்க. பிகாஸ் அந்த காலத்துல நான் படிக்கும் போது பரோட்டா வந்து ஒரு பிளேட் 10 ரூபாய். So கேண்டீன்ல, எங்க கேண்டீன்ல. So you pay 10 rupees, you get 2 plates of 2 parotas in a plate. Okay, you pay 10 rupees. Okay, that 2 parotas, if it is served with a proper kurma, you feel satisfied. Okay, you have an image that you will be getting only 2 parotas for 10 rupees. You go to a shop, they give you 3 parotas. That's a delight. Or 2 parotas with a coffee. That's a delight. Yeah. When you meet something unexpected, when you want to enjoy something more than what you're paid for, that is the delightness. When you create that delightness among customers, what you will do, you will have his connection or his association for a long term. Simple. One simple delight experience, you will never forget in life. How many of you have felt it in any of your daily endeavors? Otherwise, you're a delight feeling. When you pay for something and you get something extra. I have felt it every time when I go for PVR cinemas for this popcorn, no? That extra butter pump will always give me that delight. Now, 2 pumps kudupanga. I'll ask 3 pumps and please 3 pumps. So he'll give the third one. The third one, la butter ududho illiyo, my heart will melt out like anything. That's the kind of delight, man. Enjoy simple things. No, delight will not be big. It can be small, silly, kuti aase. Why shouldn't it be? Yeah? That always, apart from the tasty popcorn that PVR provides, any theater mall that you experience, that extra butter gives you extra happiness, right? So, bringing in loyalty will happen via delight. When you become the delight feeling varumbodhu, you will not switch your brands. That's the best part of having delighted customers in place. Okay? Then, sometimes you also talk about exceeding the customer expectation. But most of the times when it comes to the point of very hard products, if you're looking at for any industrial product application, you would not be able to exceed because everybody's expectation would be different. In some customers, you would be able to exceed. In some customers, you might not be able to exceed. But delightness, if you are aiming for creating delightness among customers, you will definitely have prolonged customer association. So they are called as retained customers for you. Customer retention will happen in its own way when you create customer delightness. Got it? Punjida. So retention, Abhina. There is also a saying in marketing that retaining the existing customers is much easier actually. Okay, it is also much important. Sometimes valuable customers for your company will come only from retaining the existing customers. New customers, they'll spend little to see how your products are being given, services are being offered. So they will just trial make and then they'll move on. But retained, delighted customers will never mind spending more also. So your conversion from the scaling up is easy. It's easy for upselling, cross-selling. Concepts please do have a look at it if you have time. There's something called upselling, cross-selling and all, which would be easier if you have enough retained customers, not new customers. Okay, so that's the best part. And coming to the internal business processes, of course, you would work on these three criteria: creating quality partnerships. You have to create partners for your own well-being. Those partnerships can be your vendors, with your vendors. If you're a coffee shop, example. If you want to talk, please talk to me because I'm someone who is talking all alone here. If you really want to talk, please talk to me. Or else it is better that you can keep silent. Yes? If you want to talk, I'm happy to listen to you. Okay? Yeah. Coming to that point of internal business, partnerships. You run a coffee shop. With whom you will partner? Who will partner? IT people, okay, IT corridor. You want to have a coffee shop partnership with the IT corridor because there are a lot of people who would be like, on the breaks, they wanted to have a recharging mode, they'll come for the coffee. Okay, well and good. Anybody else? Huh? Milkman, okay, he's a supplier, definitely. So that's a beautiful partnership again. Somebody? Huh? Students, it's a college. University colleges are the best place for the coffee shops to grow. What more you think? Look at all CCD counters. It is all in the universities, man. Huh? Schools, colleges. Because younger generation is fascinated about meeting up new people, finding their first girl, finding their first boy in a coffee shop. Right? சும்மா சிரிச்சுலாம் வளர்ப்பாங்க எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும்ல. It's okay. So we all have that association. So we all have that association. So this is a kind of customer partnership that you try to accomplish. Okay, guys, that's great. You all have happiness. Please listen. So that kind of a customer partnership happens with via institutions. Okay. Now, milkman that is a vendor partnership. So there are different levels of partnership which you can work on. Okay. So all you have to find out is strategic partnerships in place that would help you run your businesses smooth. One end you have to procure materials. One end you have to make final products and sell it to the customers. In either ways, if you can create partners who can do that for you or which can be a venue for you to accomplish their goals, that's a great job. Okay. So have quality partnerships. Maximize operational effectiveness. இன்னைக்கு போனீங்கன்னா அந்த சாய் வாலா அந்த மாதிரி குட்டி குட்டி டீ ஷாப்ஸ்லாம் you will find only one person. அவனே டீ போடுவான், அவனே பில் போடுவான். He will only be doing all the activities. Why so? புரியல. On an average, those tea shops, it's expected to have 100 visitors a day. As far as the human capacity is concerned, one can handle 100 people in a 8-hour job. Definitely. Where at the value, 100 sales, 100 billing, somebody can do. This is the reason. And this is called maximizing effectiveness. Because for the one shop, apart from the electricity bill and the purchase bill, I'm paying only one man's salary. That is a great chance for a chain like Chai Wala, Chai Kings to save money. And the size of that shop is different from one another. One இடத்துல shop size will not be the size of the other place. One will be big and one will be small. If that is bigger, then probably you expect more walk-ins in understanding is that you will expect more walk-ins. So you will have 2 or 3 employees there. One for billing, 2 for counter servicing, one at the back end also you may have for washing the cups or so. And most of the times they use only these disposable cups. So you don't want somebody to clean it also. It's better, no? So operational effectiveness is thinking about various arenas of pulling in ideas. I can have disposable cups. I can have edible cups. There are also edible cups. Wafer cups are coming up. So you can drink coffee and you can eat it also. These are maximizing effectiveness way. You put in money for that, right? And the money வந்து value convert ஆகுது. இங்க sustainability இருக்கு. நல்லா யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. Paper cups throwing into the dustbin is completely being eradicated because of the sustainability effort. Yeah. Coming to the third way, high quality products. இது நான் முன்னாடி சொன்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள்ல நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. So internal business processes is another angle where you have to think about. இது எல்லாமே have to be unique on your own way. Most of the times. Most of these, okay? The last part, learning and growth. Of course, this is more on a HR part. HR you can also learn and grow as a company owner. On the other side, you should ensure that your team members or your own fellow employees learn from the daily processes, improve themselves, and you grow by it as an outcome of it. You grow as well as they have to grow. நம்ம வந்து ஒரு சைடுல என்ன நினைப்போம்னா ரொம்ப செல்ஃபிஷான ஒரு entrepreneur, we always feel like whether we get our financial goals accomplished or not. Most of the times it is your employees who suffer a lot for you accomplishing your goals. So it's always like it should be a give and take policy. You give it back to your employees, telling like, yeah, I grow, you grow. Yeah, give and take policy. So this is the major areas of strategy which you have to work on. Adhikana strategy, once you are framing, it is you can look out for your own kind of people, what they are doing, and you can always modify it when you want. Okay, so this is the best part of having strategies in place. At the stage. KPIs for startup. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பார்க்க வேணாம். நான் சும்மா இந்த ஸ்லைட் கொடுத்திருக்கேன். I'll also share it for your reference. But what you think as a success for a startup? How will you measure your success? அமைதியா இருக்கீங்க இப்பதான். அப்பாடி நான் முன்னாடியே நீங்க பேசிட்டு இருந்தப்ப அந்த கேள்வி கேட்டுருவா. Number of customers. அப்படிதான் சொல்றீங்க. யார் சொன்னா? Number of customers you get. That's what he said, right? Right. Traffic or number of walk-ins that you get in a day. Or if it is a coffee shop or if it is a small shop or a supermarket னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Startup னு சொல்ல வேணாம். ஒரு businessலயே வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Any business for that matter. If somebody wants to come to your company or come to your store to see what you have, of course, that's a walk-in. You have lot chances of converting their walk-in into a customer. Okay, wow. Number of walk-ins per day can be one metric. Number of bills that you have done. ஒரு நாளைக்கு எவ்வளவு சேல் ஆயிருக்கு? How many money has come in? கரெக்ட்டா? How much of money has come inside your உங்களுடைய GPay ல you have UPI payments nowadays. How much you get it in GPay? How much you are getting it in normal Kalabati? So anything it could be. Okay, so how much you get, how many money you make in a day, or how much of money you make in a week or even a month can be any criteria you can have. Okay, cash flow. One is traffic, people coming inside. Second is cash flow. Anything else? இது ரெண்டு போதுமா? அது எப்படி மெஷர் பண்ணுவீங்க? How will you measure satisfaction? Reviews. Okay, that's a great way. Reviews பார்க்கலாம். ஆனா இப்போ see, I have seen places where I go as a customer, I enjoy meal and come out. Finally they'll catch hold of me when I make payment and say like, madam, please go to our page, ma'am, put a like. Please add review போடுங்க madam, we'll give you discount. This is not happening here. See, இது வந்து effortless-ஆ நடந்தா it's fine, or else it will be more of irritating a customer here. Or level where you will feel irritated. Somebody saying like, you go to my Google page, you put a review, then only I'll give you your money. Then only I'll give you discount. What is this? So initially it will be enjoyable, but later you will feel it little hard. So do it in an effortless way. So you can, sometimes I get it in hotels telling like, enjoy additional 5% benefits or 5% cash back in your bill by putting out reviews. A subtle way of asking it. You know? Enjoy. Right? No? So that's not putting anybody's self-esteem down. At the same time, as a customer, we'll all have that feeling that 5% bill saving. Oh, okay, I will do review. So that is the kind of Like, அது ஒரு ட்ரிகர், அது ட்ரிகர் பாயிண்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணா பெட்டரா இருக்கும் நான் ஃபீல் பண்ணுவேன். ஓகே, so of course satisfaction you try to understand. Anything else? என்ன ஒரு அமைதியான தூக்கம் இல்ல தம்பி, கண்ணு சொருகுது. Anything else? Quality. See, நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நீங்க சொல்றது எல்லாமே whatever you say are unmeasurable. Satisfaction, quality, these are unmeasurable, not tangible. Right away tangible கையில பாக்குறது நான் cash flow, number of customers, அப்புறம் reviews வருது, ஓகே வச்சுக்கங்க, அதோட நான் satisfaction நான் வந்து காமிச்சிடுறேன். How will you, anything else that comes to your mind? Profit that you make. செலவெல்லாம் போக கையில காசு எப்படி இருக்குது? Come on guys, you have to think about a bigger scale. Profit, you spend something, you earn 10,000 rupees and you spend 11,000 rupees. What is the purpose of having the business? ஒண்ணும் இல்ல. So talk something very intricately built on the tangible way. 1000 ரூபாய் கையில வேணும், ஒரு நாளைக்கு 1000 ரூபாய் நிக்குது. கரும்பு ஜூஸ் போற கடைக்காரன் போய் கேளு. Sugar cane juice போற shop, if you are meeting someone, just talk to him. He'll be happy to talk to people. Ask him, he will talk only profit. He will never talk about ஒரு நாளைக்கு வந்து இவ்வளவு வருமானம் வருதுன்னு சொல்லுவான், அதெல்லாம் செலவெல்லாம் போக இவ்வளவு நிக்குதுன்னு சொல்லுவான். You got the point? That profit also makes sense. It's not revenue that counts, it's only the profit that counts. Sometimes it is revenues, most of the times it's only profit. Okay, talk about that. And sometimes you can also, inge vandu they have given a lot of metrics, KPIs they have given in 4 different categories. One is attraction KPI, engagement KPI, value KPI, retention KPI. Either 4 KPIs you can have your own kind of ratio. Idu vandu there is no hard and fast formula rule to do this. You can always do it as per your business goes. For 1 month business pannina, you will get to know how much is the churn out, how much are the customer walk-ins, how much you are spending, what are the extra expenses that you incur, தண்டமான செலவாகுது, இதெல்லாமே இருக்கும். So economic metrics, there is also something called economic metrics. That's nothing but cash flow, customer acquisition cost. Sometimes you spend on marketing. Yeah, you spend on marketing, you give some coupons to the college students. Why would you give that coupon? For them to come and experience, and finally they have to become your customer. That's the ultimate point of it. But sometimes you give 100 coupons, 10 people will become your customers. Then what is the customer acquisition cost? Coupons, 100 coupons can sell 1 lakh and vechkonga. So 10 customers you have spent 1 lakh. This is the acquisition cost. Purida? So this is the kind of way that you have to work out, and completely you have to evaluate your startup only in these areas. Okay, value drivers for sustainable startups. இது வந்து ரொம்ப பெரிய கதை, அதுக்கு பதிலா நம்ம வந்து ஒரு குட்டி கதை போட்டு அப்புறமா பெரிய கதை போவோம். ஓகே, that is a gardener. Okay, ஒரு வீடு இருக்கு, not a gardener, actually it's a house. Okay, ஒரு house இருக்கு, அது பின்னால பெரிய garden இருக்கு. Okay, they have a big lawn or a garden space in backyard. There he used to water his plants every single day. Okay, so water பண்ணும்போது he has been thinking like what is the fresh thing that I'll have there in a day, what is the fresh moment that I have in a day. Every day he'll be like very positive. அப்படியே வச்சு he has been watering the plants. His plants used to grow very well and he feels happy about it. One day he found a butterfly egg, okay, in the plant. Okay, he felt extremely happy. அது எக்னு சொல்ல முடியாது, அது first stage of butterfly. அது தெரியும்ல உங்களுக்கு, அது என்ன சொல்றீங்க, லாவா குக்கோ, நான் சயின்ஸ்லாம் கிடையாது. So somebody, if you have a better language to say that, you can say. So that was there. Watch the startup, butterfly every single day as a as a starting point, where it is going to start, where it is going to open up. So but 1 week or 10 days it passed on, but it didn't come out. Okay, it was there standstill. It was small and then it was growing, but definitely something is not coming out of it. And finally the worm came out. That's a caterpillar, right? Caterpillar then varum. So caterpillar came out. He was thinking like, once the caterpillar has come out, next day it will become butterfly, or within few hours it will become butterfly. But it is not becoming, and it became again a different thing, and it actually circled its body, and it was inside a small eggshell kind of a structure. He wants to see the butterfly. Okay, that was his urge. ஒரு வெறி பிடிச்சி போச்சு அவனுக்கு. ஒரு வாரமா பார்த்துட்டு இருந்துட்டு இட் இஸ் நாட் ஃப்ளைங் அப்படிங்கிற கடுப்புல he was looking at அப்போ வந்து லேசா அந்த எக்கோட ஹோல் வந்து ஓப்பன் ஆக அதை ட்ரை பண்ணிருக்கு. The worm was inside and it is trying to open the shell open பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது he has helped. ஐயோ பாவம், it will help. So he started opening it out a bit. Okay, it came out, it crawled with its wing, it crawled, and it was walking on, it was crawling only all throughout the garden. It started crawling. It didn't fly. Okay, next day let me see, he went to sleep, and next day he's coming and looking at it. It was dead. Okay, he was very upset. He wanted to discuss about this to someone, and he went and met a biologist. Okay, இப்படி நான் வளர்த்தேன், இப்படி I opened, it died now. Tell me why. He said, like, why did you open? It's like, he was struggling, man. Are you mental or what? Is struggling? I have to support. So I supported him. Now stop being so emotional. Okay? A butterfly has a bigger head. Initially, it have a bigger head. Okay? Only when it's on the enclosure structure, if it is trying to open with its head, the head size will come down. So once if it is breaking, the head size will become small, and when it comes out, it will be easy for the butterfly to lift its head and fly. நீ என்ன பண்ண? You opened the complete thing. The head didn't work. The head size was as big as a thing that the butterfly cannot lift its head and fly. அது try பண்ணி work செத்து போச்சு. It was only you who killed the butterfly, but the butterfly was in good condition only. So sometimes we do this mistake. Yeah, we சொல்ல முடியாது, நம்ம பேரண்ட்ஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. நீங்க உங்க குட்டி பசங்களுக்கு யாராவது தம்பி தங்கச்சி இருந்தீங்கன்னா பண்ணுவீங்க. You will feel like he is struggling, let me help. No, don't do that. Startups are also that way only. Don't do that. A struggle is for a reason. Okay, if your startup is struggling in the initial stage, it is for a reason, which means you don't have a clarity. You have to build the clarity, only then your startup will be successful. So the struggles in the initial phases are always good. கரை நல்லது, கஷ்டம் நல்லது. ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட். இதுல ஒண்ணும் இல்ல, சும்மா தான் போட்டேன். So let us look at some examples of sustainable startups. நம்ம ஏன் sustainable startups எல்லாம் சொல்றோம்னா, they give back to the environment. நான் முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி கம்பெனிக்குள்ள நடக்கிற விஷயங்கள் எல்லாம் நான் முன்னாடி சொன்னேன். இப்போ இது மாதிரி பேசின ஸ்லைட்ஸ் சொன்னோம். But now we look at the outer, the better environment that we have to save. So we have Ather Energy. You might be knowing their e-bikes, saving the pollution-free or giving the pollution-free environment. Right now, yeah, how many of you know Ather? I'm sure like all of you will be knowing Ather Energy. Waste Ventures India is all about collecting the waste, e-waste, and segregating the waste accordingly as per the application of the industry. So they are also doing a great job as far as the waste management part is concerned. And there is something called Vico, which is all about managing again the kind of the sustainable bags, climate-friendly bags, environment-friendly products and apparel. They have bamboo toothbrushes, bamboo-based towel, everything. So that is going to be an environment-friendly product. And there is something again organic, just organic. There is something called there is again a flower startup. They actually work on collecting the temple residual flowers, because every day temples will be using tons and tons of flowers, and they dispose it in the just like that they'll throw it off. But they collect them, they recycle them, and use it for other purposes which are highly usable by the customers. Okay, so these are the kind of examples that I can throw in front of you, because these people are highly successful, they make good revenues, there are traction in the market with these people in place. So it's always better to have a look at these profiles to draw more idea about your business plan. Your idea is unique, no? You will always feel that my idea is my baby and it's very unique. But the process of running a business can be driven from various places. You look at them, how they are successful, take learnings from them, try to implement if at all is applicable for you. எல்லாத்தையும் தூக்கிலாம் நம்ம காப்பி அடிச்சு போட முடியாது. The initial காப்பி அடிச்ச மாதிரி ஆயிடும். Don't do that. But we try to see whichever is matching for our requirement, and we will do it. Definitely, there are some successful stories in the market that will help you do this activity. So I'm just throwing few examples here. Aether பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் how it is different na, the product is a hardcore product, but the outcome of the product is environment friendly. So that way it is sustainable startup. There are startups which has environmental friendly products by itself. Product environmental friendly இருக்கிற startups இருக்குது. But Aether stands out in some way because their product is not environmental friendly. They make it from all kind of hardcore என்ன சொல்றது sustainable development, product development la sustainability ரொம்ப இல்ல, but அதோட outcome is high in terms of sustainability. அடுத்து இதெல்லாம் வந்து on the carbon footprints and renewable energy and whereas solar energy, alternate energy கான startup list இது. இதுவுமே I will share it with you. If you want, you can have a look at it. So next G, இதுதான் the butterfly growing stages பார்ப்போங்க. Next, yes, coming to the last point, I represent the Atal Incubation Center of Anna University. So we have an incubation center inside Anna University wherein we have 38 startups, and we have a 10,000 square feet area wherein we grow startups. If somebody is interested, if somebody who has an interesting idea to pitch to me, you can always reach out to us. And G, next G. Yeah, this is our stat. Of course, we have 38 startups and 100 startups in the pre-incubation phase. We have partners, we have events, we have mentors, we have fundraised startups. So all these will help you grow your startup ideas in a better way. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening. If at all you have any question, I'm ready to take one or two because I have only 5 minutes. 1 or 2 questions would be appropriate if at all you have, or else we may wind up for the day. Wind up for the session. Anybody? எதுக்கு இப்பதான் தூங்கி எழுந்தேன், என்னமோ கேக்குது. Anybody? No, right? Happily? Thank you. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to EC and thank you EDIC, thank you CED for coordinating such a big activity. So once again, thanks to you all for listening me patiently. Thank you.
Speaker here, it is Sujaya Rao ma'am. She has over 32 years of experience with over 15 years in building entrepreneurship capacity and sustained entrepreneurial ecosystems across several institutions in India as well as Southeast Asia. She has facilitated experiential faculty development programs, student leadership workshops, and the establishment of e-cells at these institutions. She is associated as master trainer with Tamil Nadu government's EDIA IEDP program. Currently, as a co-founder, TENR, Ms. Sujaya mentors high school and college students to be career aware and career ready through short-term and long-term prep programs. She is also certified by Stanford University's Entrepreneurship Educators course, London Business School's Tools for Growth Mentor program, and has done a PG diploma course on human resource management and industrial psychology from IIT Madras. She is a recipient of the Outstanding Leadership Award Dubai 2002 from Education 2.0 and the Top 100 Leaders in Education Award 2019 from GFEL, which is Global Forum for Education and Learning, in recognition of her contributions to education and learning. Recently, she has been featured in the Women Entrepreneur magazine as one of the top 10 women leaders in startups of 2022. We are so honored to have you here, ma'am. Please make use of the wonderful session, guys. On to you, ma'am.
So good afternoon.
All of you have had lunch? Yeah? No? I'm hearing some no's. Okay, the topic given to me is value innovation. Okay, and I'm thinking of what ma'am said when she was here and she spoke about the butter on the popcorn. All right, and I'm going to try. I have 1 hour, and value innovation, can be taken for hours together. You can, take on value separately, and you can take on innovation separately. But when you put value and innovation together, and when you look at the ideas that you have, okay, you have to really look at where am I making the difference? What am I offering the customers? In the first session, you saw about a strategy map, and you understood that it is not about my idea. I can do it. It's the market. I know I can tap the market. But you have to understand the first thumb rule is customer is king and queen. So where are you creating that value? Now let me tell you a story. Okay? Now the story is about where this whole terminology of value innovation was coined. It started from something called the blue ocean strategy. Alright? How many of you have anywhere read about blue ocean? Anybody? So when you think of blue ocean, what comes to your mind? Tell me that. Red ocean? What comes to your mind when you think of red ocean? Visualize if the waters were red. What does it mean when it comes to customer, market? Think. You're all aspiring entrepreneurs. Come on. What does the color red signify? Danger. Okay. So when you're thinking of customers, market, then what will it signify? Adhusalina. What will it signify? Red. In what aspect? In what context? Competition, right? You might be thinking, I am having this idea. I spoke about Zomato and Swiggy. There are other, organizations, companies, restaurants, food outlets, catering services, which also have, their own platform, their own e-commerce platform to supply you food, home delivery services. Okay? So competition is everywhere. Your idea, if you're thinking today, in the world, there'll be 1,000 other people thinking of the same idea. You understand? So when you're looking at your idea, where are you making a difference? And now coming back to that buttered popcorn, how many of you like watching movies on Netflix? Come on, be very upfront and frank. If you are to be entrepreneurs someday, you have to open your mouth and speak, or at least raise your hand. How many of you love to go to multiplexes and watch it on screen? Why? Give me some reasons why. Why do you like to go and see it on the big screen? Tell me that. Quick. Apart from the popcorn, what else? What is nice about that big screen? Yeah? Enjoy. Tell me. You can talk here. Yes, you can talk about what are the reasons. What are the reasons? Why do you like to see it on the big screen? That audio, the sound, right? And when you see your favorite, actors on screen so close to you, the emotions. So somebody in the entertainment industry is creating value for the customer who is you. And this is is where the blue ocean strategy and the red ocean strategy was long back, coined. They said competition is going to be there everywhere. There's so many theaters. PVR is there, this is there, Inox is there, whatever, right? Multiplexes are there everywhere. But what is making the difference? They still have business. They still have their own, set of customers. And they have created that value chain. So where is that value and where is that uniqueness? They say that you have to create your own new marketplace, which means value innovation. When you're thinking about innovation and creating value for the benefit of the customers, it is all about trying to, open out a new marketplace, a new market, make the competition irrelevant. Competition will be there. If the same kind of products and services are not available, there will always be an alternative that customers are using. And understand one thing, that it is to do with the behavior of the customers. Now, whatever idea you're thinking, it is to do with understanding how am I going to build my brand. See, nobody knows you right now. You might have the best idea, you might have a great invention, you would have thought of a wonderful innovation, right? But at the same time, nobody knows you. There is yet a lot of process that needs to happen before you are seen, heard, and before you become a brand. Right? If you want to sit here and, laugh, you can step out. If you want to gain value from this session, then please pay attention. Okay? We give up our time and come here because we want to create some value for you all to understand what the outside world requires. You may not be aware of it right now. We've gone through the path, seen it and heard it and done it. All right? These sessions are not fun sessions. You can have fun, you can interact at the same time. There's a lot of learning that happens. Now let me come back to the multiplexes and the Netflix part of it. Why did I ask you this question? Long time back, 1960s to 1980s. Let's step back and think of, the city of Brussels or in Belgium. I'm trying to come back where this whole thing was coined. All right? Now, cinema operators were finding it very difficult because whatever they have invested was not fetching profit. Why? Because of cable, television, satellite networks. Those times you used to have the video cassettes and the recordings and all that. People used to sit at home and watch. Now, many cinema operators shut down. Sunk investments, gone. But then a lot of them got together and decided to change their offering, which means from having specific movie theaters, they changed it to a 10-screen multiplex. And they said, we're going to have in each of these multiplexes different movies, right? And then we're going to have for each of these movies, we have a small audience. Now, when you're sitting in a theater, now you tell me that. What is nice about it? What are some of the things that can change, that you would want to change? Some things which are not, up to the mark. Even now, when you're sitting in a PVR, wherever, right? Viewing. You've entered the theater, you're sitting, and then, something is going on, and somebody who walks in late will be going in front of you. You get irritated, right? You start moving around to see, what's being shown on the screen. So you look at the chain, the value chain that is being created for every single customer. The process, the visualization of what you're offering or what your idea is going to be. So they said, we'll have this. There was one company called, Berkeley's. And Berkeley said, all these cinema operators, their competition, they've started opening up multiple, screens and having small viewing rooms, which means each viewing room can support maybe about 100, 150 audience, right? Now, AU will have this auditorium, they'll also have a larger auditorium so that more and more students can be facilitated for any large culturals or whatever, right? So while all the cinema operators were thinking of that, this particular organization said, let's kill the competition. They will be there. Whoever wants to go there goes there, right? But we are going to start something completely new. And they started something called Kinepolis, which means it was a 25 screen megaplex. So the multiplex became a megaplex with over 7,500 seaters. You look at stadiums, you look at movie theaters these days. You go to a mall, and then everything is under the mall. You do your shopping, you go watch a movie, you go have food, you come back. Now all these other cinema operators were trying to create value by having these different offerings, different cinemas and different screens, and at the same time ensuring they're upping their value through good food, snacks, whatever for the audience. Now these people said, no, let's create a huge, great experience where people would love to come. The megaplex, 25 screens, huge screens, the sound system, and the thing is they bought a little land outside, the most, the traffic where most traffic happens so that people can look at, where to come. And they found the land, they built that megaplex, they started their business, one of the world's first megaplexes, which set the trend to what we have today, replicated in our country. Right? So where did this happen? How did this happen? Now that is called value innovation. So if you look at value innovation, it's a simultaneous pursuit of radically superior value for buyers and lower cost for companies. Now here, birthplace what happened? If you look at the funnel, they were lowering the cost, but they were increasing the value for every single customer. One, real estate was a little low because it was outskirts. They were able to, instead of investing in a lot of other things, they put their full money into that megaplex. They have a central, instead of so many ticketing services, they have a central ticketing service, a nice lobby area. You go to your respective screen and you watch the movie. So where are you creating that unique feeling for your customer? That's value proposition, which, why we call it simultaneous, happens together. You're trying to make the best use of the resources or the amount, the capital. Someone is giving you 2 lakhs, what do you do with that 2 lakhs? To start business. Where are you going to come with the money? Right? And at the same time, what are you doing for the customers? What is that beautiful, feeling? Anything that you do, entrepreneurship, is to create value for the end user. How do you make the world a better place to live in for every single person that you want to get into? That's important. All right, let's look at another example. How many of you have heard about our own Ninja Cart, the agri side? Please look up what they do. It's a very, very important, organization that has revolutionized many aspects of agriculture in India. All right, started small at Bangalore with a completely different idea. Now, if you look at, on one side, we are saying farmers are being affected, farmers are having this is the problem, they're not getting paid right, there are too many middlemen, that are taking away the money. So they wanted to start in 2015 with a simple, plan, an idea of ensuring that the fresh produce which comes to the market is in the hands of customers like you and me within 60 minutes. With 1 hour, I want to, if you order in Big Basket or you're ordering wherever, your vegetables and fruits and all that. I want to do this within 60 minutes. They wanted to start small in Bangalore. But when they started, they understood the problems that were being faced right from where the produce is coming, which means right from the farmer segment. So the farmers did not understand how much the demand was. They were doing their own thing of producing so much of, vegetable, fruits, whatever it is, rice, grains, according to the seasons and the time and the harvest, not really knowing what is happening in the end user side. Now you understand there is a mindset of a customer. Farmer is one segment. On the other hand, it is us who are trying to get some nice organic fresh produce every day, to ensure that what we cook is cooked well and fresh, made fresh. Okay? Now, in between what happens? Transport, logistics, middlemen. So even if you're looking at something like coffee, all right, you look at where it is grown. Now from there it has to come to a specific market. From that market it goes either to be ground, either to be, used as beans, whatever it is. Different aspects. But in all of this, there is corruption. One, because there are so many middlemen involved. So they said, let us, change our plan, our idea. We're going to, change that innovation. That value that we are going to create is going to be now from the farmers to the retailers. B2B. Now, one thing that was not happening is farmers being paid less and also not on time. So what did they do? Infuse technology. Technology, innovation. So always remember, it's a very simple thing. The process of creating from your idea, all right, and then you're delivering that to the market, all right, then you're trying to understand the impact of what you have offered, which means, like we all said, customers, how many customers do I get? How do I retain the customers? This whole value innovation concept itself started from that, blue ocean, where you say it's a cornerstone of that blue ocean, which says that I am going to create my own market space. Right? There'll be, a lot of you might be thinking of simple things, even like apps. You might be thinking of simple things like having a home delivery service. But where are you making that difference? That's the value, and that's where you're innovating. Innovation needs to ensure that whoever is buying it from you is willing to pay for it. Commercializing your idea. That's the innovation segment. So let's look at nothing but a strategic logic. So this might be a little dull for you, but the whole thing is about where do I make, how do I lower the cost? There's only so much capital you have. Unless you as a startup grow into 3, 4, 5 years of sustaining your business, don't expect people to invest in your organization or company. So how do you retain that with that value that you're creating for your customers? All right. Now look at something like, which do you think is the best phone? Louder? Why? All of you have your favorites, okay? That's why I'm asking. Why? Why Nokia? Okay. Who else has something else? Who else has something else? Some other brand? Why? Okay. There is one separate segment, one hi-fi segment who uses only iPhones, Apple products. You know why I'm bringing this up? Because the innovation with a simple widescreen iPod with touch controls, taking the internet connectivity and the mobile application, Apple just flooded the market. And what did they play on? They played on the emotions of the customer. It's a simple thing. Please try to understand what he did, what Steve Jobs did. He tried to connect the customer's emotions. So when you look at any video of Steve Jobs trying to release an Apple product, you will see the play of words and the play of how people, why do they stand in queues trying to figure out a new product has been launched, whatever. They completely disrupted the market with their innovation, right? Yet there are plenty of other organizations which are now trying to compete. Now what Apple is trying to do is slowly continuous improvement on what they initially disrupted with. And I'm using these terms because that's separate kinds or types of innovation that you can look at. Something which will radically, totally change the market. Like this multiplexes and megaplexes did. Next, there will be some who will incrementally do, little by little by little. As startups, you have to ensure that you first create a niche or a separate, specific marketplace, become a success, create that value, innovate, give your customers what you want, and then expand, grow. All right, so let's look at the next one. What did they do? There are 4 things that you need to understand when it comes to innovation. Tell me home appliances which have innovated over the years. Give me some examples of home appliances. Louder. Be bold. Pardon? Yes, smart lights. Excellent. What else? Someone said something.
Yeah, the fans that carry lights.
Yes, fans that carry light. Now you're seeing, because the fan was a separate thing, now the light is another thing. I'm coming to that. Good. Anything else? Come on, everyday use. What do you see? Appliances.
Mixers and grinders.
Mixies, grinders, whatever. There's so many things. That shows some of you don't know what's happening in the kitchen. Right? So you have to look around you, see where you're finding how, over the years things have changed. Everything is in the palm of your hand right now with a smartphone. And all of you are into social media. If I ask you now to look at Facebook or Insta or whatever, tick, 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 you'll start off. Right? But you have to use that for this benefit. So how do you use social media to actually create that value? You carry out your value innovation, the proposition. All right? So what you have to do is, now typically in a circus, let's look at that. The olden kinds of circus. What used to happen in a typical circus tent? What do you find in a typical circus? Can we show a video? No. Is it possible? End of the session. So typically what happens in a circus tent? If you've not seen, you should at least know. What is circus all about? What kind of shows will you have? Jokers? Right? Then animal shows? Right? And who used to, go to these circus? Which audience was a key audience earlier, years back? Children? Yes or no? Right? You see where innovation is happening. When all these, circuses started dwindling because of the television and the technology that is coming in, what did one company in Canada do? Cirque du Soleil. Go and check out. They completely innovated and changed the entire model to make it a theatric experience. So they eliminated all these animal shows and all that. They brought in themes. Today, ma'am was talking about the butterfly theme. They brought in themes. They had storytelling, and they made it a completely corporate affair. They sold tickets like you have a show, a drama show or whatever. The circus completely changed into that theatrical show. So what did they do? They eliminated some features, all right? They raised the industry standard for circus. So if you're thinking of whatever area that you're working on, whether it's food, whether it's healthcare, whether it's technology, right? Whatever area that you're working on, what is the current standard of the industry? What are you doing to raise the standard for a great customer experience? Right? What are the features? What are you adding? What are you deleting from what exists? How are you making it easier for every customer to use your product or your service? All right? And then you reduce some, and then you're creating the final innovation, that product or service. You're creating that value, the benefit that you have to offer for every single customer. All right, let's go to the next slide. Why do you need it? Avoid competition. You're creating an uncontested market space. It's a new market, new beginnings, new product, new innovation, but you are comfortable with your own set of customers. And low cost and higher value. That is the strategic move which is called value innovation. It's a very, very simple thing, but it's a deep thing if you are trying to work on your idea. The next slide. So what do? Keep it simple. Don't complicate it for your customers. Make it easy to use. Customize. Sometimes your products will be according to the customers' expectations. Personalized effect always works wonders. Why do you like Amazon? How many of you buy from Amazon? Right? Flipkart, Amazon, whatever, a lot of e-commerce sites. What makes you to keep going back there and trying to get your products? Why do you do that? What's nice about Amazon? You're sitting in front of your, laptop, or you're having your mobile on your hand and you're ordering something from Amazon. What does it feel like? Come on, guys, talk. Unlimited choices. You can go on and on and on. If you start, it will take about 1-2 hours just to find out, this or that, what is the offer here, what's the offer on Flipkart, what does this one offer, right? The best offers. And then, that's the user interface. Now you're talking, the whole screen is talking, it's very personalized. Someone else in, 10 other homes might be viewing the same page, but you don't know that. It's about you and that screen. So what kind of an experience are you creating for your customers is very, very important. Sustainability. Today, it's all about sustainability. Now, when you look at economies now, there's a new term that is going on in the whole world. When you look at climate change, when you're looking at a lot of things, you're talking about circular economy. What is circular economy? Anyone knows? Whatever you're using now, you're talking about waste management, you're talking about food waste, you're talking about water pollution, climatic change. They're saying whatever the entire population is using, please let us try to see whether we can do something with it and reuse it and circulate so there can be less pollution, less problem with environment, less cost and more gain. So when you're looking at sustainable development, when you're looking at education, when you're looking at smart cities, what are you trying to do? You're trying to make life easy. In a smart city, what are you looking at? You're looking at metros, you're looking at Internet of Things. How are you trying to make everything automated? Technology is going to come in a big way. Technology is changing every single day. Right? So when you're looking at sustainability, please ensure that you're able to retain the value and evolve the value. And every single, journey of your business, the value has to sustain. The innovation needs to keep happening. It's not one time. All right. Now, when you're looking at feature aggregation, you can add features, you can reduce features, you can do whatever, right? Simple things like she said about fans with lights. That's feature aggregation, right? And then added functionality. You include two things. Now you look at, a grater, using the mixie kind of a technology. So these are innovations. What, the crux, the concepts, the context of what you're using, the core components might be the same, but then you're innovating with things around it. So what is your innovation today? What is your idea today? What do you want to do with the different kinds of topics that has been given to you on sustainable development? The next. It's all looking very complicated, but I'm trying to keep it simple. I said creating. You're thinking of an idea. You want to create a product or your service, right? You want to deliver it. And that's your offering, right? So you configure, means you're creating, then you're offering, and then you're giving the customer a great experience. And this entire value chain, you're doing innovation, right? So, right from the time that you conceive the idea, you're you're doing it because you see a problem. You're trying to solve a problem. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Now let me ask you a question. Water. What is the problem today? Quick. With water. Think of some problem and someone give a solution. What are you thinking of? Water. Topic, water. Or you can take education. Whatever it is. Think of, I'm giving you topics now. Water, education, healthcare. Where can you innovate? Quick ideas. I'm wondering whether you actually will stand up and pitch your idea if you're not opening your mouth now. Get out of the habit of just sitting there and trying to see what's happening here. Change the way you look at sessions which are away from your typical structure of college delivery. Try to engage. That's where you will stand out individually as a person. So I've given you some specific topics: water, healthcare, education. What are the problems that you see in any one of these? Unhygienic water. What can you do to change that? Give me one solution in any area, whether it's rural, whether it's urban, whether it is specific household, water consumption. What can you do? Good, I'm glad you started the whole thing. Yes. What can you do? Solution: unhygienic water. What are people using these days to ensure that the water that you use is to some extent, hygienic? At home, outside. That's a solution. Healthcare.
Human cells.
Yeah.
Human cells.
Raise your hand.
Human cells.
Yes. So what is the solution to that?
Scanning devices.
Scanning devices. Excellent. Very good. Education.
Schools are having very less time to choose their career.
Yeah.
Now only 2 to 3 months they have to choose their education. So we can build a system having psychological tests and other solutions to provide them. these might be your cup of tea. And that way we can build a system.
Excellent. Thank you. Very good.
Education system has to be changed much more. We are reading only that theoretical things only. We are
Correct.
getting into 2026. Now we also we are reading the same syllabus trained in 1960s.
1960s, absolutely.
Yeah, the same syllabus.
Right?
Reading the same syllabus. But the technology is beyond the.
Absolutely. Technology is going somewhere. And that is why we are saying, please come to sessions like this, because this is talking about what's happening currently in the world. If you look at, technology companies, corporates, small businesses, thank you. Small businesses, large corporates, large companies, why do you think what is all this is happening right now? If you look at terminologies like, you're thinking startup, what is startup all about? This was, going so many years back. It's come now to our country. Everyone is talking about entrepreneurship, startup, and all that. It's your mindset. Right? So what are you trying to do to help someone else's life become easy? You're creating value, and how are you doing it? Because you're seeing problems around you and you're finding and fixing it by creating a solution, which is the innovation that happens. Right? So when you're looking at every single stage of building your idea, when you're configuring, when you're creating something, there is the ideation stage. You're trying to evaluate to see. You're doing your market research to find out, hey, what do you want? Ma'am spoke about, please do something what the customers want and not what you are thinking. Oh my God, I am sticking to my idea. Please understand, at your age, we cling to the idea. We're passionate about what we are doing, especially if it's technology. But please try to find out from the other end, do the customers really need? Right? If you're looking at Swiggy, what happens? The specific comes home delivery. If you want, calling bell not to be done, you can do it. You can do whatever, right? Uber, innovation. Ride sharing, innovation. Different countries will not have the same kind of Uber facilities. There might be countries which will use even high-end cars, which are not used here. One, because of the range, the kind of audience, whatever. So everyone is doing something which can cater to a specific audience. Who is your audience? That's what you're trying to find out with value innovation. All right, so never step into a business without understanding who your customer segment is. And for that, market research is very, very important. Never do it without trying to research what is required. Do you know Uber Eats? Right? Uber is a simple thing. You think, okay, you order Uber Eats. Do you know what happens behind in the US for Uber Eats? There's an entire team which goes to different countries. You see the kind of research they do. They go to different countries. There's an entire set of people just to go there, find out which restaurants are there under Uber Eats app, and they go to the restaurant, they find out from this side, what is it that is being ordered the most. They taste it, they try to figure out why, they come back with the learnings, they go to the customer side, they try to figure out how it is received, delivered. There is a lot of research that goes in, just not about, okay, you order, it comes. Constantly people are trying to innovate because you have to sustain your business. If you don't do it through the value chain of delivering what the customers require, in 1.5 years your startup is going to fail. Timing is another important aspect. Okay? And then you look at the mid-level product system. When you're looking at complementary product service. So if you buy a smartphone, if you buy a phone, there's something that will come along with it. You might get a headphone. All these are complementary, different kinds of tools and services that come along with it. What are your offerings? And then the experience, how do you retain customers? Emails, the reward points. Sometimes they're so tricky. Now, if you go to now if I order flowers for someone's birthday, in my wallet, they'll say, okay, 150 reward points. And the next time that you go and you say, oh my God, you feel so happy that 150 reward points are there. And then the next time someone else's birthday, you try to place an order for flowers. Then when you're coming just to the cart and trying to pay up, then you know only 50 points are released. So the play of how people, work on your mind, what is it that triggers the happiness and joy when it comes to products and services? So how do you not only keep the business point of view in mind, but at the same time play up and have that catch, with customers, because you know that they will be anyway your customers. What kind of a loyalty program are you creating? How are you going to retain this? Who is your first customer and who is your 100th customer? And your first 100 customers, how are you going to retain them for so many years? What is your plan? That is the extreme, the other side of innovation. The next slide. Technology, today we're talking about, augmented reality, we're talking about virtual reality. You go to a movie theater, you have a 3D glass, right? You go to, incubation centers, or you go to learning centers where you can just, wear your, the kind of equipment that they give you, and then you're into that virtual reality, right? So people now sitting in the US, if you want to look and understand, you want to get, darshan of any temple or whatever, there is, the focus on having that virtual reality experience created for you to, get into the temple and see what's happening. This is technology innovation, increasing every single day. Tomorrow it will not be the same. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics, big data, business analytics, all taking over. Data is big when it comes to business. Please understand, in every stage you have to analyze data. If you want to be an entrepreneur, know that you're going to get into analyzing data at every single stage of your business. Okay, next. Types of innovation. All right, incremental innovation. Let me look at, very simple example from Bihar. Bihar has about, I think over 65, 66 teacher training institutions. Incremental means continuous, slowly, stage by stage, step by step. Now, what were they doing for their pre-service, preschool training program? They used to receive about 3 lakh plus applications manually. So you can imagine the kind of staff that you need to have to look at every single application, try to figure out whether the candidate is right. Then put it into a database. They used to have registers and all this. So all old things. Like he said, the education system 1960s, we're still doing it. Now incremental innovation happened when they decided to use technology and slowly start automating stuff. So today, if you're applying to those teacher training institutes, you will have to do it online. So that is, the data is collected, there is an Excel sheet, calculations become easier. People are able to go back to the data, view the data, try to figure out, what is right, what is incorrect, change of address. So why is, so much happening in the government today for everything to be online? Data. Facebook, data. You watch YouTube, data. Netflix, data. So whatever you want, whatever you're watching, don't think you're watching in silo or no one knows what you're watching. Someone else is there trying to figure out what you're watching. Data. All right? So everything is pretty transparent because of technology these days. All right? So that's incremental innovation, continuous innovation. Why? Because you're slowly growing your sales and profit, right? And you're protecting your business model. The training happens, the institute is the same, but what are they trying to do? They're trying to make it more effective. All right? Let's look at the next type of innovation, which is architectural innovation. The component is the same. Those were the days when you used to have those huge Xerox copiers. You still have them, but if you're working from home or if you have, need ready reference, whatever, copiers, today you get them on the desktop, right? Why? And those were standalones. So large companies used to have it. You'll have to go outside, you have to get your copies, and then you have to. Now at home you can have a printer plus a copier plus a scanner. So the core of what you have to offer remains the same, but the architecture changes. So the technology might be the same, but your offerings might differ. Let's look at the next slide. Now that's called a disruptive innovation, what Apple did. Completely ulta-pulta, change the market. Right? That's what Zomato Swiggy did. That's what Amazon did. Brought about a radical, complete disruptive change saying that, hey, what you were trying to go and do in shops, we can offer you online. You sit at home and you get it. Right? So that's how you look at innovation. So where are you making the difference? So what happens out here? This is high risk because you're doing something completely new, which means customer behavior. Why should anyone pay you? One, you're not yet a brand. Two, you're doing something completely, over the market. What's existing? Third, will the people pay for it? So this is high risk. Disruptive is high risk, but Apple made it. Right? Let's look at the last one, the radical innovation. Again, transformative business model. Whatever business model exists, is changes. You look at McDonald's. Those were the times when you used to go and you used to, sit. Someone will come to the table, you place the order, whatever. Today, self-service. Right? So when you're looking at innovation, where exactly has it changed? Right? So here, you're creating a bigger impact for your products or service. People need to talk about what you have to offer. And last but not the least, another 10 minutes, you will look at what business model innovation is all about. Okay? So if you look at overall, when you look at architectural, incremental, radical, disruptive, when you look at disruptive and radical, it's all new. You're completely changing the market scenario, whereas on the existing features and benefits of product or whatever, you're doing your architectural and your incremental innovation. Next. And this is the final aspect where you're looking at what is business model innovation, right? So you're making some great changes to the value that you're offering to the customer, but also you're trying to look at the underlying model of how you offer it, right? So let's look at what it's all about. The next slide. It's about increased growth. You're trying to change the model quickly because you're trying to tell the competitors, hey, it's not easy to get into my market. I'm unique, and I know I have the capacity to sustain what I have to offer. All right? And then the brand recognition. You're constantly creating the visibility of your offerings. That's branding. Your marketability, the sales, whatever you do, in every aspect of business, the model that you use, right? You have changed because of the value that you're creating to make life a better place for customers too. Now let's look at what you can do with business model innovation. Next slide. The innovation mix happens when it's process innovations. When the process is changing. Can you give me an example when you look at cars, production of cars? Where has process changed? Where has process changed? When you look at Ford, the assembly line is a process. When you're, putting together an entire unit, how many hours it used to take years back. But today, everything is automated, technology being used, the assembly line that you see, all that is process innovation. All right? Let's look at organizational innovation. Let's take McDonald's itself. Don't think you can do business alone. You need to get ideas, you need to have collaborations, association, partners to help your business succeed. So what happens in the organizational innovation, for instance, McDonald's, they keep it very open. They have something like crowdsourcing ideas, right? They have something called the noodles team, which means now and then to experiment and try out new stuff for McDonald's, right? And they, right from the supplier of the resources for McDonald's, products, burgers, whatever that you're eating, to the people who are in the front end, everyone gets together to innovate and try and find out how can we make the business, grow much more. All right, and then you're looking at marketing and sales innovation. So whatever you can, experiment online. For instance, L'Oreal Cosmetics, if you see, they have something called I think the makeup app or something like that, where you all the cosmetics and whatever you want to buy, and you can, because of the technology you use, you can test and try and see. You can use combinations to see how the whole thing works, and then you can buy. Right? How do you make it interesting? Network innovation, collaboration. If you look at Procter and Gamble, they collaborated with Aura Labs to come up with a new lip balm. Right? You don't think, and that's why. If you look at our organization, my own organization, which deals with career mentoring and career readiness, we don't have what you're talking about, the psychometric test. We don't have the career assessment test, right? We don't have the capability or the time or the bandwidth to create one. So what did we do? We partnered. We partnered with one of the most topmost career assessment organizations in India, which is a national award winner, which uses artificial intelligence and does brain mapping to figure out your skills, your interests, your personality type, to try and figure out what kind of career paths you can take. Right? So innovation is happening there. It's called network innovation, when you collaborate and bring in the best to give value. Right? And last but not the least, this is customer engagement retention. When you go to a specific mall, or when you're buying clothes, or when you order food, a lot of you go to the same place. Yes or no? Yes? Why? You will go to the same, coffee shop, hang around with your friends. After some time, why do you keep going back to the same place? I buy my clothes only from this. I really like it. Why? No, simple. Talk about why. What does it have to offer you? Yeah, quality. You like the quality, right? You trust the quality. Next, what else? Service that they provide. You walk into a Starbucks, someone greets you, right? And then you sit with your friends, you order whatever, whether it's coffee shop, whatever, right? About 10 visits now and then, because it's closer home, wherever you can hang around with your friends after college. You go to the same place, and then it becomes a meeting place. But how nice, you go to the same place because of the kind of service. The next time you walk in, the same person greets you, good morning, good afternoon. You feel so accepted. The trust factor increases. And then, they come to the table and say, hey, do you want the same thing that you ordered last time? They remember what you ordered. Then you become, even more happy because they remember what you want. So what are you trying to retain your customers? Are you trying to figure out when their birthdays are so that you can, give them some offer? Are you trying to, keep in touch with them through phone calls or emails or respond to whatever their, service offer is within 24 hours so they feel happy and they will recommend you to someone else, some other customer, new person, so that your customer base can grow. All this is very, very important. So please understand as we end this session, right? There's an entire life cycle of a venture. You might be, at your idea stage, but there is a whole, journey of trying to visualize from a customer's point of view at every stage of growing your business. What is the value that I'm trying to create? All right. Now I'll give you one last example, and it is a true example. I don't remember the name of the person, but there was this furniture sales person in a furniture shop. This is, I think, the US, right? And he worked for about 15, 20 years selling furniture. What was happening there was some disgruntled, some customers didn't really like it because the furniture, after being ordered, used to reach their place, their home, maybe sometimes in a week's time, sometimes it took even a month. All right, because they had placed the order, they were waiting for a long time. Now, in the entire value chain of the offerings, good furniture, good service, whatever, the one thing that we found was the lapse in delivering it at a proper time to the customer. So, with all the experience that he had as a salesperson, he started his own business, small. Today, he operates in over 80 countries. And his value proposition, the process innovation is I deliver the furniture the day you order, right? The same day that you order. So you can imagine how he will be monitoring logistics. When he started with his own van. Initially, when he started, he just have a couple of customers. So he hired a van. When customers kind of, place the order, he used to load it into his own van and go and, kind of deposit that. But today he runs a chain. He has people working for him, and there is a technology that works. Same day, whatever you order is handed over. Look at the customer retention experience of IKEA, right? If you want to really buy, you will have videos which will explain, YouTube videos which will explain how this whole furniture works. There will be 3D dimensions or whatever to tell you, inside how it is, how do you place it, So the experience of even knowing what you're trying to buy before you even go to the shop, to the store. So what is it that is drawing or attracting the customers to your offering? So always remember, I'm summarizing, value proposition is important. What you saw in the first session, the customer segment which was here. Try, if you get the customer segment right, and you're looking at the other side, your offering, there has to be a product market fit. There has to be a problem solution fit. Right? And that happens when you are trying to build your value proposition, trying to innovate in some way of whatever is in an existing product, or you're creating something new. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Any questions? We'll try to show you this video on the blue ocean and that surface thing. Because here in your typical circles, you can see how the innovation happens. Younger audience, slapstick comedy, fun and thrill. This is the red ocean. But every circus has. Okay? This is the blue ocean that they created. This is a Canada entertainment company. So this is like storytelling, acrobatics. So you look at how they have mapped out strategy to see where they're in the value chain. Right? They still exist, and then if you go to YouTube and see, you see they're coming up with a very new web series. Alright? So I wanted to end this with a little bit of excitement. Alright, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was a wonderful session. Yeah, we will break for a tea for 10 minutes at my right side. Okay, so we'll come back for the next session. That is the most important session. That will be the last session from Mr. Shibin Mohammed. So where we will be apprised about how to, what are the next steps that is to be followed in doing the screening. Right. So just we'll break for a tea and come back after 10 minutes. On this side, right side.